how much is an eyeshadow palette? How much is like her nails? That's why men like pay for dates and things.
So in a scenario where I could demonstrate that I spend more money getting ready, are you okay with a woman fully paying for the date?
No.
Okay, so then why would that even be an argument then?
Can you repeat the question?
I'm a really high earning guy going on a date with a girl who's not broke, but she makes $70,000 a year and I make $1 million. And I pick her up in a Lamborghini. I've definitely spent more money showing up to that date than she did.
Yeah, but...
So if I show up in my Lamborghini and my Rolex and my custom suit and whatever, I've spent more money in preparation showing up for that date. Should she fully pay for the whole date?
No.
But I spent more money getting ready.
I am never going to pay for a first date.
Yeah, bro, divorce is the only option. She's not the right wife, bro. Finding a better woman's the only option at this point, honestly. Can't believe she would do that to you, bro. After all you guys have been through, like, it doesn't even make sense. This must be crazy, bro. What the Are you serious?
What the
You just threw my phone.
He said divorce was the only option. She's not the right wife. Are you serious?
I was on the phone with my friend. His wife cheated on him.
Oh. Sorry. I'll go get your phone.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry, I'll go get your phone.
God.
I can't take you on a date? Why? Oh, okay, no worries. It would work.
Already?
It would work.
Already?
What?
That's all you can do right now.
Who's this? I have no idea what this girl is.
Does anybody else think it's weird that women can expect things from men, but men can't expect anything from women? Like, I seriously want you to stop and think about one thing that it's socially acceptable for a man to expect from a woman. Like, can you think of a tangible thing where if I got on here and I was like, hey, I think in a relationship that women should blah, 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 that wouldn't be problematic or red pill? Because from what I notice, it's like, it's okay if a woman expects men to pay for dates, but that man can't expect the woman to put out. It's okay if women expect men to pay all their rent, but if he expects her to cook and clean, he's a filthy misogynist. Women can expect a man to facilitate an environment in which they can become a stay-at-home mother. However, that man cannot expect her to become a stay-at-home mother. Like, do you see what I'm getting at here? Personally, I don't think anybody should expect anything from anybody. However, the hypocrisy is crazy to me. And the lack of acknowledgement in the hypocrisy just confuses me. It's like we have certain demographics here who are listing their expectations, but not being willing to deliver anything whatsoever.
Say it louder for the women in back. That's definitely gonna get me in trouble. In all seriousness, this is what's so frustrating for so many men out there, because they're either trying to find a life partner through all of this stuff, all of the double standards, all of the negativity towards men in general right now. The fact that so many women would pick the bear over a man, or they've decided to just stay single. They've decided to remove themselves from the game. Most men out there are just so frustrated over these double standards. And if while being single, they've discovered peace and sanity, they're going to stay there. They are choosing peace.
All right, let's break this down. Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. If they didn't have any double standards, they'd have no standards at all. That line right there, that's not just a jab. That's a cultural diagnosis, because what we're really looking at is selective morality. Standards that only apply in one direction. Expectations that shift depending on who benefits. And when you strip away the contradictions, what's left? Not principles, preferences. And here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of modern dating dynamics are built on that imbalance. We hear, I deserve a high-earning, disciplined, emotionally intelligent man. Okay, fair enough. Standards are fine. But then the same energy doesn't apply in reverse. If a man says, I want someone fit, cooperative, loyal, and supportive, suddenly he's shallow, controlling, insecure. So which is it? You can't demand traditional benefits while rejecting traditional accountability. You can't call it empowerment when it advantages you, and oppression when it requires something from you. That's where the double standard lives. And here's the second part. They can be as delusional as they want, but it doesn't mean men are obligated to tolerate said delusion. This is where boundaries enter the conversation, because delusion isn't illegal. Anyone can believe they're entitled to a millionaire while bringing nothing but vibes to the table. Anyone can think they're a 10 while refusing growth, discipline, or self-awareness. But the market decides. Dating, whether we like it or not, functions on value exchange, not feelings, not fantasy. Lifestyles curated on social media. If what you offer doesn't match what you demand, the gap eventually exposes itself. And men are waking up to that. They're realizing that saying no is not misogyny. Opting out is not insecurity. Choosing peace over performance is not weakness. You are allowed to have standards. You are not entitled to compliance. That's the difference. The deeper issue here is cultural conditioning. For years, we've promoted the idea that self-esteem equals deserving more. But self-esteem without self-assessment becomes entitlement. And entitlement without results becomes frustration. And when reality pushes back, suddenly it's men ain't stepping up. But stepping up to what? A moving target. The truth is simple. If your standards only function through double standards, they're not standards, they're leverage tactics. And leverage only works until the other side decides to walk away.
Can I really order whatever I want?
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
It's your night.
I'm looking at that dry-aged porterhouse.
126.
A 32-ounce steak? Bro, she weighs no more than 160. What's she eating a 32-ounce steak for?
If you got a girl, man, you should take care of your girl and her friends. Like, y'all going out on a date, and she's with her friends, and it's you gotta pay for them. You gotta pay for them. I can't finish it.
You guys were so mean to that woman who was upset that no one in the Amazon warehouse was hitting on her. And I don't understand why, because I think it's very easy to understand what she's saying. She has not felt desired for most of her life. People do not find her attractive. No one has been explicitly saying that they find her attractive.
Correct me if I'm confused, but didn't we spend the last couple of years talking about equality? So yes, the young lady who's crying in Amazon, what most of you guys or most of everyone is seeing is what's called equality. Just for a second, close your eyes and imagine a male got on here and said the same exact thing. Women would be roasting him. Dudes would already be roasting him because this is something we understand when you're growing up.
23, recently dating a rich 29-year-old. He's been taking you to expensive dinners, $500 plus. How do I get him to spend it? Personally, he wants to take me on vacation. Okay, so he's using you and enjoying your company, and he's spending money on you and him. Okay, so you can't count that as money spent on you. It's $0.
So let me get this straight. According to her version of girl math, when a man spends his money on her dinners, trips, experiences, it doesn't actually count because he benefits too. Read that again. If he pays for the restaurant, but he also eats selfish. If he funds the vacation, but he also goes, doesn't count. If he creates the experience, but he enjoys it, invalid contribution. That's not math. That's manipulation dressed up as logic. Because by that standard, nothing he does will ever qualify as generosity unless he receives absolutely zero enjoyment in return. And that's the trick. The goalpost isn't just moving, it's designed to never be reached. This is where entitlement reveals itself. There's a difference between appreciation and expectation. When someone does something for you and your first instinct is to minimize it because they benefited too, you're not looking for partnership. You're looking for tribute. And here's the deeper issue. She's still not satisfied. The dinners aren't enough. The trips aren't enough. The curated experiences aren't enough. Why? Because when consumption becomes identity, satisfaction becomes impossible. Social media has normalized the soft life fantasy, luxury, as a baseline, not a bonus. And once someone anchors their worth to what they can extract, appreciation disappears. It's no longer about connection. It's about escalation. More expensive restaurant, better resort, higher tier lifestyle. And if he can't continuously upgrade the experience, Suddenly he's not ambitious, not generous enough, not high value. But here's the uncomfortable truth. A relationship is not a subscription service where the price increases every quarter. It's supposed to be mutual investment, time, effort, emotional support, loyalty, respect, financial contribution, where appropriate. That's reciprocity. When one side is only measuring what they receive and dismissing what's already given, you're no longer in a partnership. You're in a transaction. And transactions without balance turn into exploitation. That's why the term financial vampire resonates. Not because women shouldn't desire provision, not because men shouldn't give, but because there's a category of person, man or woman, who sees generosity as a resource to drain rather than something to value. They don't build with you. They feed on you. And here's the real danger. These dynamics rarely start extreme. They escalate gradually. First, it's appreciation, then expectation, then entitlement, then resentment. When you hesitate, if someone consistently reframes your effort as insufficient, believe them. They're telling you that nothing you do will ever be enough. Generosity should be met with gratitude. Investment should be met with investment. If all you're met with is appetite, walk, because love multiplies. Extraction depletes.
Starting to see more and more videos on this app of women complaining about not getting the things that they want out of men, or not getting men to treat them the way that they want to be treated. Y'all are stupid. Y'all are stupid because you're taking advice from this dumbass chick. Y'all are being programmed so that way they can turn you into customers. I want you to really think about it. Think about all these female creators that are pushing the male-hating agenda. Something that they have in common. Majority of them are in relationships. But then they tell you that you should hate men. But of course, when you go to their page, there's a link on there where they're selling you something in regards to hating men. But the whole time, they're happy in their relationship. Y'all really got to stop falling for this bullshit. It's been going on long enough.
Are you in a relationship with a woman and you're tired of all that hooting and hollering? Well, here are 5 surefire ways passed down from generation to generation of men on how to calm those ladies down. Number 5, just tell her to calm down. Sometimes women get all caught up in their womaning and forget the basic rules of polite discourse. A gentle reminder to calm down should simmer the situation. Number 4, remind her to relax. This helps the ladies who understand their level of energy is inappropriate but aren't quite sure what the next step to take. Number 3, you're here, I need you here. This simple physical action can help demonstrate the de-escalation necessary in the situation. Number 4, pretend this is your crazy knob. We need to turn it way down. Again, just another physical demonstration to show them the proper path. And number 1, only to be used in extreme cases. You're acting like your mother, and this world doesn't need 2 that crazy walking around. Just use these 5 simple methods, and you'll never have an out-of-hand lady again. We'll see you next time.
I've been seeing a lot of conversation about how men are ruining the club.
I will have you notice the septum piercing theory has not missed yet. Viewer discretion is advised.
And I was hesitant to weigh in because I am a non-binary lesbian. I understand that I am not desired by a lot of these people, and I don't really care about that aspect of things, but what I have noticed is that they are failing the water test. Now, the water test is when you need water, or one of your friends needs water, and you jump the line to ask the person who's currently ordering for water. This has never been a problem. At a music festival, at a bar, at a club, it doesn't matter. Until recently, people have started saying no.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You are not into men. Fair. But you are conducting tests. The water test. And the water test is if there's a line at a bar or whatever, you skip the line. You go to the person in the front if it's a man and you tell him, hey, get me a water. And if he chooses not to get you a water, he's a bad person. You lost me at skipping the line. Let me start there. Secondly, don't nobody owe you. If that person does not want to get you water, they don't have to get you water. Wait in line like everybody else. If it is not an absolute emergency, I don't see why anyone would feel entitled to said water. This level of entitlement that some of y'all walk around with is insane to me.
at gay clubs, at straight clubs, men have started saying no. And I just don't understand how you can sit there and ask for all the perks that women get, but you don't bring any of the kindness or respect or just fun that women bring. Like, it just makes no sense to me how you can fail that test, because it is the most basic thing in the world to just get somebody some water.
You're doing everything except addressing the fact that they don't have to do these things, and you're not entitled to them doing it. Would it be a nice gesture? Sure. But if that person chooses not to, that's just something you have to accept. And when the did that become a test? What are you even talking about? And what do you mean by we're asking for the perks that women get? What perks are you talking about?
It doesn't cost you a dime. It costs you, what, 5 more words? Can I add a water? I don't know if I counted that correctly, whatever. But it's just really telling. It's really telling about the state of men and everything like that, that they would say no to getting somebody water, whether they deem that person desirable or not. Because again, I've seen some of my straight friends baddest around get denied from it as well.
So your idea of men being better is diving into your high level of entitlement. I find it so odd that the only time you guys praise men is when they're doing something for y'all. But the moment we do something for us...
If a man asked her for a simple glass of water, would she pass her own test? That's the question nobody wants to sit with, because it's easy to demand effort. It's easy to create standards. It's easy to say a real man would, but the moment the roles reverse, even in something small, the energy changes. And that's where the hypocrisy shows up. If your philosophy only works in one direction, it's not a principle. It's leverage. See, a lot of these conversations aren't really about chivalry or generosity. They're about asymmetry. The expectation that one side performs, provides, initiates, solves, pays, protects, while the other side evaluates. That dynamic creates a power imbalance disguised as empowerment. Now, let's go deeper. When someone views men primarily as utility, as tools for convenience, lifestyle upgrades, emotional labor, or financial cushioning, the relationship stops being human and starts being functional. It becomes, what can you do for me? Instead of, who are you? And once you reduce a person to a function, you feel justified demanding from them. So when a man says no, when he sets a boundary, when he declines to overextend, it's not seen as autonomy, it's seen as malfunction. Because in that mindset, he's not a partner, he's a service provider. That's why the anger feels disproportionate. It's not about the water, it's not about the dinner, it's about disruption. The expectation of automatic compliance has been challenged. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Nobody is obligated to serve anyone. Not men, not women. Mutual care is healthy. Mutual effort is attractive. But obligation rooted in gender, that's outdated thinking repackaged as modern empowerment. If you believe someone should provide endlessly simply because of their gender, you're not progressive. You're just enforcing a different version of the same old script. Real equality means both people can ask and both people can be asked. Real partnership means both people give and both people receive. If you'd fail the very test you impose on others, that's not strength. That's entitlement.
Mom, why you don't just give us this bed and you and Dad get the one bed?
Mind you, her description says, granted, we are saving for our homestead, which I want more than anything, but still. Bro, Shorty really cut her hair because her husband cut out her bi-weekly salon visits. Ain't nowhere in saying she can't get it done once a month. He ain't say it was for no reason. She literally said it's for their homestead, which she wants more than anything. This is actually kind of scary, bro. Like, bro, this is the equivalent of a toddler throwing a fit. This is what this is, but you're a grown adult. Do y'all remember as kids when your mom was like, no, I can't have it, and so you deliberately like did something to yourself thinking it was going to hurt her? Like, for example, your parents said that you can't have cake, and you're just like, bet I'm not going to eat that, and you literally just starve yourself because you couldn't have cake. That's not corrected. They turn into this as an adult. Her husband saving to get them a homestead that she wants, and she's cutting her hair because he's cutting out the bi-weekly salon visits.
Did a husband cross the line when he left his wife at the airport? The husband explained they had about 15 minutes until boarding started, and his wife insisted on going to Starbucks, which was on a different terminal. He told her she didn't have time, but she didn't listen. He waited as long as possible, but when the gate agent was about to close the door, he decided to get on the plane, and the wife did not make the connection.
Yeah, throw the whole wife away. First of all, he was going to visit his daughter. So when the wife decided to go to another terminal with 15 minutes to board the plane, she made him make a choice between her and his daughter. So there was just a trip planned before. She overslept, so they already missed the flight. So this is the second time that they're going to try to see his daughter. So when she decided that she was going to delay or just take her sweet.
If this hit home, just wait until you see what's next. Because this conversation, it's only scratching the surface. The next video goes even deeper into the patterns we keep seeing, the entitlement, the contradictions, the mental gymnastics people use to justify behavior they'd never tolerate from the other side. If today exposed the double standards, the next one exposes the blueprint behind them. So if you care about clarity over confusion, accountability over excuses, and truth over trend-driven narratives, click into the next video. I'll see you there.